Hello and welcome to Nicole Northgarden Stitches. Here we go. Hello you all. I hope you're doing well. My hair is a little staticky, sticking my chin. I hope you're doing well here in 2025. This is actually the first video I'm filming, both on my Stitchy channel as well as other channels. I do have other channels, but yeah, I haven't filmed for those. So we're diving right in with the cross stitch. I have been very much enjoying my cross stitching of late. It's definitely been a great hobby to have. I live in Minnesota and it's cold here. Our winters are no joke. And so I have just really been enjoying being in my house and working on my stitching projects and just laying low and staying warm. So anyway, I know I haven't filmed a FlossTube video in a while, and yeah, I have a very busy job, and this is not my job. I work full time, and the last part of the year, I started a new job in July, and so the last part of 2024 was just really busy, trying to get a handle on, like, you know, what are all the responsibilities of my job and how am I going to dole out my time accordingly. And so, yeah, so just not a lot of time for filming. Hold on, I feel like my hair is definitely falling down. Hold on. Okay, my hair was falling out of my clip. Anyway, but I did want to jump on and just do a year of, you know, a new year, start fresh with my FlossTube channel, to kind of for you and for me to see where I'm at in the beginning of 2025. I want to show my whips and some recent finishes. Nothing is fully finished, but I do have several finishes that I wanted to share since the last time I filmed a video. And I also have a pattern I want to give away because someone gave it to me, so I want to pass it on. Yeah, so we'll go through my whips, I think, first, and then my finishes, and then get to the giveaway details. As I was counting my whips, I have 11 whips. That's not very many. That's just kind of how I am. I don't like to have too many going. And they are, let's see, 9 I would say are currently active, and 2 I don't plan to work on them in the next little bit here. I do plan to finish at least one of them and work on and finish at least one of them, probably both of them actually, before the end of the year, but they're just not currently being worked on. So, but they're not UFOs either. They're not unfinished things. They're not things I'm like retiring or anything. They're just not in the current work plan. But I realized as I was looking at my whips, it would be much easier to talk to you about the whips if I tell you my method of stitching lately. So this is a new journal that I got for a gift. A friend of mine gave it to me, and she gave it to me with the intention that I would journal, but I don't like to journal. I know it's funny. It's like, you know, some people love journaling. It's not my thing. So I was like, well, how can I use this? And I decided to use it as my cross stitch journal because the embroidery on it is beautiful and is stitchy, you know. So yeah, I decided to use this as my cross stitch journal. Cross stitch planning and thoughts. Really pretty inside. It's by the Rifle Paper Company. And so I made a few pages in here. I'm kind of using it as a, what is that? What are the kind of journals that people do? They're called, oh shoot, and people draw lots of different things. They usually have dots in them. Oh dear, I can't think of the name of the journaling type. Anyway, there's a kind of journal that people like create for themselves. It's not like, you know, and it's got calendars in it and goals and things like that. So that's kind of how I'm using this. If I could remember the name, I would say it, but I can't. The first page I made on here are my 2025 cross stitch goals. There's my goals. So I want to try the temperature daily 30, which I'm doing, and I will explain that for anyone who's not on FlossTube regularly and hasn't heard much about it. I will tell you how that's working. And that's part of the reason I wanted to talk through some stuff in the journal first before I show you my whips, because what I've been working on kind of goes along with the temperature daily 30. So that was a goal that is happening. Finish all whips from before 2025. So I don't want to enter 2026 with anything from 2024 or earlier. Try not to stop totally stitching during the summer, because I totally stopped this summer because I like to garden, and yeah, I would rather not totally stop. I used to stitch a lot during the summer because I'd bring the kids to the pool or to a lake, and you know, you're sitting on a blanket, especially when they're older and you don't need to have your eyes on them the whole time. You know, I could sit and cross stitch and just kind of monitor what was happening. But of course, now my kids are old. Yeah, I have 4 kids and they're all grown up. They are ages 25 down to 19. And so that doesn't happen anymore. So yeah, in the summer, I definitely just like stop stitching. So I don't want to totally stop stitching this summer. I always want to have a small or a mini going that can be turned into a pillow for the dough bowl, because I'm working on I want to have little mini pillows for my dough bowl, which I got for Christmas from my hubby. He got me a nice long dough bowl that I could have on on a counter or tabletop, whatever, with different little cross-stitched pillows for the seasons. So I want to always have something going for one of the seasons that I can turn into a pillow. And then I want to FFO all of my finishes from before 2025. So anything that's not fully finished stitching in 2025, everything from 24 and before, I would like to make into something so that I don't just have a pile, which is what I have to show you here. I'm really bad with fully finishing things. I love stitching, but I don't have a lot of cross-stitch stuff in my house because I'm terrible about finishing things. So that is a goal for the year. I'm going to work on getting better at that. Then I don't want to say it out loud on the off chance that anyone who knows this person sees this video, but there's a certain project that I've had planned for a friend that I really want to do in 2025. I'm tired of putting it off. There's just a little cross-stitching thing that I've wanted to do for this person for a while, so I'd like to get that done. And then, oh yes, I've acquired at least, I think it's only 3 so far, of the Stitching with the Housewives seasonal / monthly scales, and I have the big wooden scale thing to finish. And so you can switch out these really cute, because I don't know if you know from my other channels. Oh, I'm noticing that picture is really crooked. From my other channels, you may know that I love vintage scales. And so Stitching with the Housewives put out these patterns. There's one for each season or for each month. That looks like a vintage scale, and then there's this cutout that you could order, which I would get out, but I don't want to mess up my room, where you paint it, and then you can switch out the cross-stitched piece on it each month. So I have 3 of them, and I really want to get those done, at least for next year, at least started, a good start. So I have I think I have December, January, and February. So if I could have December done and the scale, the wooden scale, all painted and finished, and actually be able to display it in December, that would be great. And then maybe have January and February done so that I can display those. And then maybe the next year I'll do the next 3 or something. Anyway, but I really would like to get a start on those. So those are my goals for 2025. And then I made a page in here that says new starts. So this is where I can track anything new that I start. And I've actually had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new starts, and that again goes with my temperature daily 30, which I'll explain in a minute. So I've had 5 new starts since January 1st, and part of those were planned for New Year, new start, and one was a finish, which I will show you. That was a really tiny one. So anyway, yeah, so I have 5 new starts, and then I have had 2 finishes. So I have a place to keep track of my finishes. And then I have, I'm doing a new thing. Part of how I'm stitching this year is to always have a focus on a finish. So, and I'm going to be recording those. So and I have the dates focus, the date I started to focus on that, the name of the project, and then the date finished. So, and I did actually have one focus on the finish already in January, but it was before I started recording on that page. So, and then here comes the temperature. Oh wait, nope, that's not true. Things I'd like to start in 2025. So these are not I'm not strongly committed. They're not as strong as a goal, but I'm just keeping a list of patterns I would like to start potentially in 2025. There's a vintage Valentine pattern that I have. I have a purple book, which you'll see, and I'll show you later there's a Twilight Frosty, which I've actually already started. And then there's a chocolate hare, like a bunny. So I would like to start the bunny also in 2025. I'd like to do a blue and white pattern. There's one I saw in an old magazine, or I might just do a Quaker. I'm not really sure, but something blue and white, like where the fabric is white and I'm just stitching in blue. I would like to do that. I've never done a monochromatic pattern, so I'd like to try that. There's a free one from Teresa Kogut called I Stitch. I don't know if it's called I Stitch, that's what I do, but that's what the words on it say, and it just cracks me up. So, and it has like a red tomato on it, which if you're not familiar, I have a thing for sewing tomatoes. Hold on. Let me get one of my jars. I'm making a mess. But anyway, I really love these tomatoes. And so I have a thing, I really want to collect some. I have two so far to do, the free one and then one that my hubby gave me. And I'd love to have like different, you know, like patterns that have the little sewing tomatoes, the little pin tomatoes in them, and like hang them around my shelves here or something. I just thought that would be cute. So I want to do that freebie. There's, it's called Santa's House. This is a bigger one by Cottage Garden Sampling. I'd like to maybe try Tiny Modernist Night Terrarium. I have that pattern. And then I am going to France. And so in commemoration of my France trip, which it will not get done before I go to France, but I'd like to start it before I go to France and stitch it through the year. It's a tiered tray that has all these little like France symbols on it. There's like a flag and a bike and the Eiffel Tower, and I'll show it's coming. It's actually supposed to arrive tomorrow, the 13th. So if the next time I film that pattern has arrived, I can show you that pattern. So yeah, so those are things that I'd like to start. Again, they're not commitments, but they're things I'd like to start. Which brings us then to the temperature daily 30. Now, lots of people on FlossTube are doing this. I saw it first on the Stitching Mommy, and basically what she's doing is you can do it by either the daily high temperature, the daily low temperature. What she's doing is the daily high temperature for the day before. So that's like an official temperature. It's in the almanac. This is what was officially recorded. So that's what I've chosen to do. So the first step though is to assign projects, or for me, I assign seasons and holidays to all the digits 0 to 9. So you can see here's my list of digits 0 to 9. And then I assign seasons or holidays to each of those. So I have Christmas, winter, Valentine's Day, spring, Easter, summer, Halloween, fall, Thanksgiving, and then 9 is Stitcher's choice. So I would get to choose on that day. And so then, like today, I will look to see what yesterday's recorded high temperature was. So say it was 22 degrees. The second digit of that, well, that's a terrible, so say it was 23 degrees. That was not a good example, right? Say yesterday's high temperature was 23 degrees. Well, then that gives me the second digit is a 3. And so then I look on my list and I see for 3, today I would stitch for 30 minutes for my daily 30. I would stitch on a spring project. So that's it. That's all. So it's basically just a fun way to like randomly, you know, work through some of your projects. So I know Stitching Mommy has assigned specific projects to hers. I mean, people are doing it all different ways. I really want to be working on seasonal projects, but I also, like, I love seasonal projects. That's probably my favorite thing to do, but I also have some like year-round projects that I'd like to get done as well. So what I've decided to do is assign the seasonal projects. And so this way I'm working on a different seasonal project each day, seasonal or holiday. And then I have a focused project, a focus on a finish project going on at all times. So that's how I'm working through my WIPs. Does that make sense? So for every day, you look at the day. For me, I look at the day before, see what the high temperature is, see what that second digit is, and whatever it lines up with in my list, I work on that project, a project for that season for 30 minutes each day. And so that's how I've been getting some stitchy time. And then for me, the rest of the time I spend stitching that day, I spend on my focus project. And that's usually an hour or two. Sometimes I get some done before work. So I get up around 6 and I don't have to be at work, which at work is right there, except for I do go in 2 days a week. So on those days, I don't really stitch. But on the days where I work at home, I get up at 6 and then I have time I don't have to be at my desk until 8. So I have time, you know, to get coffee and to do some stitching, usually like 30 minutes. Do stitching in the morning and then get to work. So that's how I've been working through. I wanted to tell you that because as I go through my WIPs, it just makes more sense now that I'm going to show you my WIPs. You know what I've been working through. So that being said, now let's take a look at my WIPs. So these are all of the currently active WIPs plus 2 others that are not active, but I will work on them in 2025. Let's start with the 2 that are not currently active, but that will be in the next few months. This is Cheery Little Gifts by Leisure Arts. It's a vintage pattern. Let's see when it's from. Can I tell? It's printed in the USA, 1992. And I really want to do, I don't know if you remember, but I think in my last video, it was a long time ago, but I showed you some Easter napkin rings that I made. They're little plastic eggs and I put them on ribbon and then we could use them at our Easter table. Love them so much. I want to do the same thing for Christmas and I thought these would be really cute. So there's just all these little motifs. There's like a bear and a tree and a snowflake. Can you see those? And so I'm just going to do a bunch of these. And I'm doing them on plastic. I only started one and I'm debating, I think I'm going to do full cross stitches. On the Easter ones, I did half stitches. I don't know. I'm just not loving how the half stitches are looking on this. So I might go to doing full cross stitches. I haven't decided yet. But anyway, I only got one done and I'll cut around, you cut around the plastic and then glue the ribbon on the back. And it just makes a really cute little napkin holder. So yeah, so that I really want to get done for next Christmas. So I'm not working on this currently. I just don't feel like it right now, but I will this year well before Christmas. That's my plan. And the other one that I'm not currently working on, but I should, I just need to get it done. You'll laugh, is my family sampler. The story here is that I started this, like, I've been married 26 years and I started this, I believe, in 1998. I got married in 97. I believe I started this in 1998 as like a wedding sampler. I designed it myself. It's very wrinkly. And then I didn't know for a long time what to do in here in this band. And so I asked on my channel for ideas and everyone said I should stitch the family. So that's my plan here. So I've started to stitch the family. There should be another set of feet here. Yeah. And then I think I'm going to do pets maybe down here. I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. But anyway, I've designed the family from a book that I have. I have this Better Cross Stitch Designs right here. This is all my cross stitch stuff here, in case you're wondering. And so I designed a family, which I will show you. I can show you the pattern because it's my own pattern. I drew it. I'm the designer. But anyway, that's the family. And I put everyone's, not ours, but our children's birth years above the little people that represent them. And I did it kind of like when Maddie, I would say if you look at this, Hannah was born when Maddie was 6 and Hannah here is maybe 2. So this might be like representative of when we moved to Minnesota, which was when Maddie was 8 and Hannah was 2. So that's kind of the age that I chose to represent on the sampler. That is the plan. It's not a lot of stitching. It's stitching with back stitching, which I don't enjoy back stitching at all. So I think that that's why I'm so like, I just need to get it done though. Like really, I would love to get it done and hung somewhere in my house. So that is a goal. That is a goal by the end of 2025. It's not on my list. I should put it on my list, but it isn't. It is on a goal because I said I wanted to finish all my old WIPs. And so that is one of them. That is my oldest WIP. It's the only one that's that old, from 1998. Those are the 2 WIPs that are not currently active. Now we'll move into the most active WIPs. So I'll show you my focus piece right now. So my current focus piece is by Leela's Studio, which I love that designer, by the way. She doesn't have a ton, but I love all the things I've seen by her. This is called The Anniversary. I am doing this in honor of my hubby and I. We celebrated our 25th anniversary in 2022. And now it's, we're at 27 years. So I'm a little behind. Is that right? Yeah, we're at 27 years. Yes, that is correct. Yes, 1990. 27 we were married. So we're at 27 years, and but that's fine. I really want to get this stitched. I didn't find this until we were at like 26 years, and I just really love it. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it, and there will be a C and an N, and I'm going to put our marriage year, which was 1997 there. I think that'll be great. So it's in honor of our 25th anniversary, even though we're at 27 years, you know, it's okay. And here it is. Also for my, I don't take my things out of the hoops or whatever because I'm working on them all currently. Some of them are not in a hoop because I share hoops with other projects. Like this one does get moved around actually. I'm currently very actively working on this. Like I will stitch on this more today. The light is kind of washing it out, and it's not quite exact by, like it's not quite called for. I'm working from my stash, but yeah, which has been its own, that has been its own challenge. I have in the last 2 years of stitching really done a lot that was just called for. I haven't been thinking about colors and stuff or stitching from stash. I used to only stitch from my stash, and it's almost like you get out of practice. So like picking colors for this has been like a headache. And I like didn't write things down, and then I had to figure out like, what did I choose for that? It's kind of a mess. And then I told you I took this whole summer off, and so it's just been like, I don't know, one little goof. And then originally I had to frog this part of the tree because I did it in the wrong position. So this project has had some headaches, but now things are going smoothly. And especially since I'm working on it every day, like you just keep track of any issues, you know, or you keep track of the colors. So that's been going really well, and I'm really enjoying stitching on it. So that is my current focus on a finish. It will probably take me, I would guess, at least another 2 weeks, but we'll see. Okay, and then let's go through, I'll go through what I've stitched on so far with my temperature daily 30. So we're on, what is today? Today's the 12th. I did stitch for today already because I'm going out with my friend at 7. What time is it? It's almost 4. I'm going out with my friend at 7. And so I really wanted to make sure I got my temperature daily 30 done today. So I did it this morning. So I looked at yesterday's high temperature, and the digit was a 7, so I'll show you in a second. So I have stitched on, the first day was Stitcher's Choice, and I stitched on Twilight Frosty. So that, let's see, the temperature was 29. I stitched on Twilight Frosty. And I've done Twilight Frosty multiple other days, at least 2 other days I'm seeing here, because I didn't have a Christmas project started, which now I have one kitted up. So the next time Christmas gets called, I will have an actual Christmas project. I have another project, which I'll also show you, called Swedish Mittens. I was kind of filling that one as Christmas as well, if Christmas got called, because Christmas got called. Christmas and winter have been called several times, which is funny. The digits there are a 1 and then a 0. Yeah. 1 and 0. So like if you look at my list, Christmas is 0, winter is 1, Valentine's Day is 2. So Christmas and winter have gotten called a lot. So I will show you what I've been working on. Okay, so this is Twilight Frosty. This is a book I got on clearance at my local needlework shop before it closed. So it closed in May. It was called Stitchville USA. Loved that place. So sad it's gone. But I picked this up on clearance. And so this is Twilight Frosty. So that's my current winter WIP. And then I mentioned a goal or a pattern that I want to start this year is chocolate hair. That is chocolate hair. And I actually bought the called for floss for his body as a fancy floss. And I did buy that already. So Twilight Frosty, I am loving this pattern. I bought this fabric from 123 Stitch. That's pretty much where I get all my supplies now. Now that my local needlework shop closed. I really like 123 Stitch. Sometimes I get stuff from Etsy, but mostly from 123 Stitch. And this is my first time working on Picture This Plus. This is 18 count Aida. I'm an Aida stitcher for the most part. I do occasionally do linen and occasionally other things, but mostly I really like 18 count Aida. However, and I love this fabric, which again, the light does weird things to it, but it feels smaller to me than, I don't know if any of you are like Aida stitchers, but the 18 count Picture This Plus feels smaller to me than other 18 count, which is weird. So I usually do 2 pieces of DMC over 1 Aida box, and that on this feels really tight. So I decided to try Sulky. I've never tried Sulky before. I love this. So this, you only use 1 thread, and one is supposed to be equivalent to 2 pieces of DMC. I'm not sure I would say it's quite equivalent, but it's close. This makes my stitches on here look beautiful. Like they just look really nice and neat. Especially, I don't like my white stitches ever, especially not on a dark fabric. But with the Sulky, they look a lot neater because it's just 1 piece of, kind of see me through there. Need something dark, but anyway. So anyway, I really like the Sulky, and I like it so much that I actually went ahead and ordered some equivalent colors to do the rest of it with Sulky. So those are also arriving. Those are a later order. Sorry, my husband and my daughter are playing a video game, if you hear them. Anyway, I placed another 1, 2, 3 stitch order, but that was more recent. And so that one probably won't be here for like 2 weeks. But anyway, but that's okay because I have a lot of snowman to stitch anyway. So I really like the Sulky. If you don't like the way your stitches look, with white, I highly recommend trying this out. I was quite pleased with it. So that has been my winter stitch. So anytime on temperature 30, when winter gets called, that's what I've been working on. Oh, and I should show this to you. This is the system I use for keeping my floss and my pattern together. Like so this is a page protector. I'll put my pattern back in there. And then I put DMCs in these little, they're called coin pages. They have these flaps so that the floss doesn't, can you see that? There we go. So the floss doesn't pop out, because if you use just like regular baseball card sheets, the floss will pop out the top. And then if there's any fancy flosses, I put them on and attach it all with a ring. So that's the system that I use. And then I put it into these pouches, which aren't the best, from Amazon. They do fall apart. So maybe I might start buying project bags. They're just really expensive. And I appreciate that they're handmade, and I totally get it. I don't do zippers, or I'd make some myself, but I might just start buying like 1 at a time, because these are not, they last me. I mean, I bought them all last year, and I had to get rid of 2 of them because they were peeling. Like the bottoms were peeling off already. Like the bottoms just kind of give way. You can kind of see here. The bottom is just not, can you see that? It's ripping already. So not the best. I thought these would be a good solution. They're not the best. So I might just start buying like 1 project bag, a month or something like that. Because I do get a little budget for my cross stitch habit. Chris gets a budget for his comic book stuff. He's a comic book collector, and I get a cross stitch budget. So anyway, we'll see. But that's not the issue right now. Okay, so that is my winter stitch. Then I also worked on a Christmas stitch, which isn't technically Christmas. I'll tell you about that in a second. Hold on. Too many things going through my head at once. This is my other winter stitch, which I was using as a Christmas stitch, which I may still do. I might still continue with this as a Christmas stitch just until it's done. So, well, I should show you the pattern first. So this is the Cricut collection. This is also old. I forget what year it's from. It's from the 90s, I think. These are super cute. But what I'm working on is this down here. I've pretty much changed all the colors, just working from stash. That's what I have done so far. I don't know that I'm going to do the whole thing. I think I'm just going to do this border and then this row of mittens and call it. I don't love stitch. This fabric is not the best. It has a very loose weave. I forget what it is. It's like some kind of natural, it's a natural linen with dots on it. And it's not my favorite. It's very loose. I don't like a loose weave, which is why I like Aida, because it makes your stitches much nicer, more uniform. You don't have to worry as much about your tension on your thread. So anyway, the goal here, get this done. This row of trees is done. I want to get the border done and that row of mittens, and then that'll be that. So that's my plan on that. You don't ever have to feel like you have to finish a pattern. So that is my current one. That's Christmas, but I do have one planned that I want to start for Christmas. So this, I guess, isn't technically a WIP but it's planned to be a WIP as soon as Christmas gets called again. But maybe I'm changing my mind on that, but I will show it to you anyway. Maybe I will finish Swedish Mittens and then this will be my next Christmas one. So, oh, I don't even need to take it out. I can just kind of show you, but I need to block the pattern. So it is from, it's designed by Tracy Richards of Wrought Iron Stitching. And it is from the Christmas, let's see, what year is this? 2024. Oh, this is this year's. Oops. This is this year's holiday issue of Just Cross Stitch. And it's this little tiered tray. And that can be a little mini pillow. Remember, I told you one of my goals is to have lots of little mini pillows get created this year. That will be one of them. Oh, it's so cute. Because the design size is 5 by 7. 5 by 5. No, 5 by 5. And it's called for on a 32 count Ren Belfast linen. I will work it on a 18 count, which will make it a little smaller than what they say. So mine will be a little smaller than 5 by 4, but anyway, the point is it'll be really cute. I will potentially have that as a start when my Swedish Mittens is done. This is my fall piece that I'm currently working on. This will also be a little pillow. This is from, let's see, okay, where is this from? Cross Stitch and Needlework from October 1997, the year I got married. So yeah, it's actually really tiny. You'll see, because I'm stitching on an 18 count, so it makes it tiny. I am not doing a year. I could translate to 2025. I don't want to. I don't need the year in there. I'm just doing the pumpkin and the flowers. And here's what I have so far. It's just a little tiny one. So if you look at this, basically I'm like in here. It's like a block of 10 rows, block of 10 rows. There's like 3 blocks of 10 rows each, and then you move into like this bottom, which they're not full blocks. But it's super easy stitching. Yeah, so when I do 30 minutes on this, like I think last night I did like 60 stitches, 70 stitches. Yeah, I wrote it down. 70 stitches in 30 minutes, which is pretty good, you know. And it is one at a time because I'm using a variegated floss. So you do 1 X at a time rather than doing multi-legs and then going back. So it takes a little longer, but super fun. Okay, and then I also had called twice Thanksgiving, but I didn't have a Thanksgiving pattern started, so I think I did some more on pumpkin and marigolds, but now I have a Thanksgiving start in my WIP. This was in Just Cross Stitch, December 2022, and it's this little turkey. So I've started it on an 18 count Aida, and he's going to be real tiny. Mine will be smaller than that again because I'm doing an 18 count. So here's the start of mine. Whoops, that's his head. So there's, I think it says it's like 3 by 3. Mine will be close. Not quite 3 by 3. It might be like, or theirs was like 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Mine will be a little smaller than that, but it's going to be really cute. A really cute little Thanksgiving pillow. So that's what that one is for. And then Easter was called one time. So I've gotten to work on, this will be a spring and an Easter project because it's a big one. It's by Cottage Garden Samplings. I love it, but I would not choose it again. It's called the Jackrabbit, and it takes a lot of time. I don't know if you can see, but there's like a pattern, like a quilt pattern in the bunny, and all of these, like A Year in the Woods, it's a whole series, and all the animals have a pattern on their bodies. It takes so much thought and like care to do it right, and you can't mess it up because it's very geometric. If you mess it up, it will stand out like a sore thumb. So I don't think I would choose this again, but now I'm in it to win it. I feel like, okay, I'm in this far, I'm just going to get it done, and it will be very cute, but I would not choose it again. So here's what I have so far. Again, I don't love this fabric. This is a natural linen. It's got very loose weave. Not a fan, but it's what I had in my stash. I don't think I have written down. This is like a lot of stuff from stash that I'm using. This is what I have done. So You can see I've just like barely started the bunny. It's going to take me forever. I don't even know if I'll get this done in 2025. I started in 2024. Here's the floss. I like the colors. So these are all the flosses. And then I did, this was the last project. I worked with the owner of the local needle workshop, Stitchful USA, and she helped me pick some fancy flosses to do the bunny in. And those were some colors. They are Weeks, and then what are these? Gentle Arts, Simply Shaker, and Sampler Threads. Yeah, so we worked together to choose those, so that makes this a little bit of a special project too. So anyway, those are the colors for the bunny, and then the rest is DMC. Yeah, super hard project, takes a lot of thought. That's why I have it assigned for the spring and the Easter one. And it's gonna take me a long time, I think. Okay, and then there's 3 others that haven't been called in my temperature daily 30, so I'll show those to you. One is not technically started yet, so it's not really a whip, so I guess I have 10 whips. As soon as Valentine's Day gets called, this one will get started though. It is a freebie called A Token of Love. This is what it looks like. They did theirs as on a red pillow and as a pillow. I am just doing mine on a piece that I had in stash, a tan, and I've chosen this very primitive like Lancaster red as the color I'm going to do the stitching in. And this is the fabric that I am going to use. So it's just a tan from my stash. And then Halloween has not been called yet. So for the Halloween project, oh, this is a funny story. So, I started this project with all floss from stash. Let me show it to you first. Pull it out of here. This is something, I think I found it at a thrift store. I love it. It's also a collection. Found it at a thrift store. It's a bigger project. And I started it with floss from my stash. Well, I did not realize how like intense the stitching was on the house. There's a lot of stitches. Long story short, I did not have enough floss of the color that I chose, which is called Sable. Sable, right? Yeah. Well, ran out of Sable and ordered some new Sable. Well, the dye lot has changed because my stash is old. It was an old thing of Sable. Does not look like that anymore. It's completely different, actually. So I was like, okay, well, that's a problem. So I have not worked on this in months because I'm like, well, I don't have the floss. I need to like drive 2 hours to Blue Earth, which is the closest local needle workshop, and like take my project with me and just see if I can find something comparable. Well, over the new year, I was cleaning out and just organizing a lot of my cross stitch projects and bags and old projects and floss and just getting all the things into their right places. And I found more of the Sable. Now, I actually don't know. Here, let me pull it off. I'll show you. This is Sable. Ah, it's in a knot. It's not it. Okay, this is what it looks like. And I don't know that it's necessarily enough to do the whole house, but I do think that I can finish. Well, I'll just show you on here. This is what I have so far, and you can see I just kind of stopped. So I think I'll be able, it's enough to finish this and these little like window things. So I'm going to do those with the Sable that I just finished and whatever down to the bottom half, like on the top half of the house. And then if I still am not sure if I have enough, maybe I'll pick like a coordinating siding color to do the rest of the house, but at least I can keep going with the project. Because I was like, what am I going to do? Because I got this really cool fox and rabbit, you know, fabric, and I really like the project, and I have buttons for it and everything, and then I ran out of the floss. This is, by the way, called Tornado. It's an 18 count Ada from Fox and Rabbit. I really like this fabric. So anyway, I was really thankful. I was like, thank you, God, for caring about even my cross stitch. That was my funny story. Haven't gotten a chance to work on it though, because Halloween. What digit is Halloween? Let's see. Not one that's very common apparently. Halloween is on my list as 6. None of the temperatures have ended in 6, which is funny. So haven't worked on that one. But now I can. Yay, yay. Okay, and the only other whip that I have, besides all of those holiday ones, this was a gift from my mother-in-law for Christmas. And when I am done with the anniversary, this will be my focus piece. Sometimes I just stitch on it, like if I just feel like it. If I don't feel like doing the anniversary. Let me see, do I have the cover page? It's a PDF, so I don't have a color cover page, but I think I have a picture. And it's called The Sleeping Deer. If you know me, I love laying down deer. I have a whole collection of figurines of laying down deer, and so that's why she got this for me. And the colors are really pretty. I'll show you the palette. Really pretty. So here's the first page. I love this blue and the way the blue and the yellows work. And then here's the second page of colors. So really nice palette. I really like it. And for this project, it's kind of hard to stitch on. It's just, it's a lot of color changes. So I'm doing like this block method. I don't use gridded fabric, but I'm kind of like, you know, patterns are gridded. If that makes sense. They are created in like 10 by 10 blocks. Like if you look at a pattern, which I can't show you, but it's gridded out for you. And so I'm stitching this in 10 by 10 blocks. So like I started here, that was the first 10 by 10 block, then here, now I'm up here, and then I'll probably go here. And it's just helping me to keep track of all the color changes. It's not like confetti, but there is like within a 10 by 10 block, there's like 5 colors. You can kind of see all my colors. So I'm just keeping all of the colors ready to go. That is the back. It makes for a very messy project, but it makes it manageable for me rather than like losing track and miscounting, you know. You can see that's the deer's body, if that helps orient you. And it's on this gray fabric. It's a gray 18 count Aida that my mother-in-law picked and sent to me. She actually sent me like a multi-pack of like multiple grays. Really cool. So those are my whips. I know this is a long video, but that's okay. I haven't made one in a really long time, so okay if it's longer. Let's go through my finishes and then the giveaway, and then we'll be done. So I worked a lot on Christmas stitching. So from, I want to say like November 1st on, I was just solely stitching on Christmas. So I finished a few Christmas projects. I think I had started him already. I don't have it written down. You can look on my Instagram. I post a lot on Nicole Northgarden Stitches on Instagram. So that is a prairie schooler. I don't remember what year. Probably says it on Instagram, but that was one of my recent finishes. I also finished this. This was from a magazine. If you really want to know, you can email me or write in the comments and I'll message back with the information on the pattern. So this is called like Christmas at the Cabin, and it was in a magazine. I changed the color. This was like supposed to be confetti in the wreath. I do not like to do confetti, so I just changed it for a variegated floss. I think that's mistletoe. I think is the color, so you can see the variegation a little bit. And then this is one of my ornaments. I think I'm gonna I try to do one ornament a year. Sorry, I bumped the camera. I think I'm gonna put 2025 here and have that be my ornament for the year. The reason being, I did actually do this one to represent the year, but I think I'm gonna turn this into a pillow. It's just big. It's big for an ornament, but it would be really cute as a pillow in my dough bowl. Okay, so those are my Christmas finishes. That's what I did from November 1st to Christmas. And then I was also working on my Focus on a Finish, which I really went hard at the Focus on a Finish right after Christmas. So I did finish, yay, flea market flowers. This is the biggest project I've ever finished. I've never done a project this large. So I was super happy. I now, yesterday, got all the stuff that I need to frame it. I got a frame from Hobby Lobby, and I got some foam board from Amazon. Yeah, so, and I'm going to frame it myself. So super happy with that. Which brings me to my last thing. I really want to give the pattern away. Someone sent this to me. And now I'm done with it. I haven't really marked it up. I had it in a plastic sleeve. So, I mean, it's bent and it's clearly been used, but it's not marked up. So if you would like to stitch this, not just collect it, but actually stitch it, send me an email and I will put all the names of the people who want to stitch it into a drawing. And then I will pick a name and I'll announce it in my next video. Yeah. And I will also email you back, obviously. So you have to be 18. If you're out of the country, I will still mail it to you, but I will fold it in half because I can mail things overseas in a halvesy envelope. Takes forever to get there. I mail things to Molly in France. That's my daughter. She's living in France right now. It takes weeks, but I will do it for you because it's not expensive. It just takes a long time, but it will be folded if you're not in the US. If you're in the US, I probably can I can send it unfolded, and that'll be fine in a big envelope. So that's the scoop. If you would like to stitch this next, send me an email. I'll put names in a drawing, and then I will email you back if you're the winner, and I can get your address from you. So, okay, so that is all. That's all that I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I have been up to in my stitchy world. Yeah, I just really been enjoying stitching and plan to do it throughout the winter, and then hopefully keep something going during the summer, not completely drop off like I did this past summer. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and happy stitching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.